What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Wolf's Den. Kick back and relax. We got a pretty good show ahead of us. Ton of news, ton of gaming news, ton of film news, and yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good show. We're gonna start off with the weekly highlights straight off the bat with Silent Hill 2's comparison. We got a pretty good showcase on how the game looks. It's night and day. It looks incredible. I can't wait to play it. I know there's a lot of people kind of butthurt that it has some timed exclusivity involved with its release. It's only coming to PlayStation 5 and PC, but that's pretty much the entire gaming market if we're going to be honest with this, you know, how Microsoft is claiming that PlayStation is, you know, their install base is so much more impressive. This really shouldn't be too big of a deal, right? But they're, you know, everybody's saying, is this going to damage the game's sales? And I don't think it is. I don't think it's going to damage anything at all, really. I think the game's going to be stellar, especially, you know, it seems like these horror games are making so many remakes right now. This is kind of like the golden opportunity for Silent Hill to kind of make a return. So that's awesome. I can't wait. I really can't. I haven't played Silent Hill 2 since I was in middle school. You know, I think I had but it's really not like a massive, like, the fan base isn't massive for Silent Hill. I know Resident Evil is much more widely known by people. Silent Hill is kind of more of a niche crowd, but I've also seen the argument that Silent Hill is more of a horror game. It's more twisted. It has a lot more intertwining, you know, details that freak people out. Compared to Resident Evil, it's like, oh, zombie apocalypse. You know, that's not too surprising. That's actually realistic. We could probably see, especially now in today's climate, that, you know, government could, or a corporation, make a virus that, you know, obviously makes an outbreak. So, I mean, I get it. I get the comparison, but Silent Hill 2, oh my god, cannot wait. Cannot wait for it. We also got news on Modern Warfare 2, a couple news stories I wanted to talk about. First being that, you know, people are complaining and, you know, these campaign length concerns, mixed reviews on the campaign. I think, you know, we're just going to have to wait and determine for ourselves if the game is up to our standards. I know everybody's different. That's the Call of Duty community. Everybody picks their favorite games, excuse me. So, I mean, is it really going to be that much different from 2019 or 2018's, or was that 2019? Yeah, Modern Warfare 2019. I don't think it's going to be drastically different. If anything, it's going to be more powerful on the graphical side. I don't see the story. You know, I heard it's action packed, but the story just doesn't hit hard for everybody. So I've seen mixed reviews. I don't know. I'm actually right now I'm waiting. I'm waiting to go to the midnight launch. It's 9 o'clock currently, so we got a couple hours. So I'm probably gonna make a video tomorrow, tell you guys what I think. I'm actually gonna live stream tonight if I do get the chance. Probably the campaign and a little bit of multiplayer. So you guys won't know that. This is coming out the next tomorrow. So you guys aren't gonna know. I'll probably put up a little short or something to show you guys I'm gonna be live streaming later. But yeah, the game doesn't look incredibly bad. I don't understand you know, it has to be some inner workings in the campaign, like the missions themselves or just what's involved with them. Maybe the gadgets aren't impressive or something along those lines. I don't know. I'm sure it's gonna be a fun campaign. The multiplayer seemed alright in the beta. It didn't seem terrible like some YouTubers are making it out to be. I know it's different and it's probably not, you know, overall gonna be good for the Call of Duty experience. I'm sure it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be mixed. It's gonna make some people think, you know, why did they have to make these changes that nobody wanted, you know, and others are gonna think it's a great, you know, innovation that really mixes up Call of Duty's gameplay. And so it's just going to be mixed. I'm taking it's going to be like a 50-50 on the multiplayer, but the campaign, I don't understand. It cannot be worse than Vanguard's at this point, you know? So I see people saying it's average, like a 7, 8 out of 10 campaign. Some were even lower than that. So we're just going to wait. I don't like to criticize a game before I even play it. That's the same with movies. I don't like to really review a movie. I mean, I can guess, I'll have a hunch and I'll be like, yeah, that movie's gonna bomb, but I give it, you know, until I see it and really sink in, or, you know, let it sink in, whatever type of media it is. I don't want to just judge it. You don't judge a book by its cover. It's basically what I'm saying. It's kind of a dickhead move to do on any source of media. But yeah, Modern Warfare 2. There was also a leak this week that we're getting a zombies mode because of a playlist in the game files was found by some data miners. So that's that actually like revived the hype for me, because the multiplayer is gonna be okay. You know, the campaign we'll see, but zombies, you know, I really didn't care about the Spec Ops. You know, I'm gonna play it and I'll let you guys know about that as well. But zombies was that's the main focus for a bonus mode. It's always great as long as you go by the core fan base and what we want. It should always be pulled off decent. You know, I don't know what the fuck was going on with Vanguard. Let's bring it back to the Cold War days. I don't know if this is actually going to come out this year or next year as well. I would hope that they were smart enough to do it sometime in maybe December, after everybody's bought the game, or maybe even before, you know, in November, something along those lines, or maybe a Halloween event. I know some people were saying that could be possible, but with it being so close, they don't think so. So I don't know. We're just going to have to wait. I really hope there's a zombies mode, because that just makes the longevity of the game last longer. And seeing that the game is going to be a 2-year-old, not 2-year-old, but a 2-year-old, 2-year Call of Duty, my bad, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's going to be out for 2 years. Zombies, it would just extend the life of this game. I do deeply believe, because it's done it in the past with multiple Call of Duties. You know, Cold War was meh with the fans on some levels, and the zombies mode always kind of, you know, they always really delivered. You know, they delivered something. If it wasn't perfect, at least it was something, compared to Vanguard, where it's literally just map reskins, and that's just bullshit. But yeah, I'm hyped. I can't wait to tell you guys what I think of the game tomorrow. Cannot wait. Star Wars Jedi Survivor also got a little bit of a rumor spiraling around that we're going to get some more information coming in December. This is a rumor, so, you know, anything could happen. But I could also see this happening, you know, maybe at the VGAs. You know, I wasn't the biggest fan of the first game, the Star Wars, what was it, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Wasn't a huge fan. It was okay. But I'll tune into whatever they show. You know, just, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and they seem to get the universe somewhat accurate, so should be a good time. We also got a first image and a small interview with the director of the Amazon Fallout series that's in development. I'm hoping they do it justice. They do the game justice, because you can't really fuck up Fallout, but you can at the same time, depending on what they want to do with it. But they did state it's going to be dark. You know, it's a darker series, but just the concept in general is dark. So they could just use the concept and make kind of like this this wokish narrative, or this wokish plot line, or I don't want any of that. I just want it to be pretty basic, how the Fallout game stories usually go. There's a couple factions fighting over land and resources, and something happens that's, you know, it builds up to something else. You know, with Fallout 3, I think you could have, if I remember correctly, you could contaminate the water supply, or there was some different choices at the end that it all led up to, and you have to choose which factions. That would be really cool if they explored that and kind of made it a twist. Like, one episode is kind of like, oh, you're with this dude, and then he says something, or some dialogue change, or you get it more of a revealing of who the character is, or what kind of character they actually have, and then, you know, you switch. You know, the next episode, you kind of like, oh yeah, these guys were right, that dude's fucking nuts. You know, something along those lines. That would be entertaining, and it's realistic, but I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and find out. The dude that's directing it actually was a writer, and he was trying to make a bestseller, and he flopped, so now he's in TV. That's the way he put it. So I don't know. He's probably not, I don't think he's too familiar with Fallout either, so that's nerve-wracking. I just, Amazon, don't fuck this up. You fucked up, the Rings of Power or whatever. I haven't even watched it. I think I watched 20 minutes of the first episode. Just never got back into it. I mean, it's hard when you make your first episode's 2 hours and it's not that impressive. It's hard to reel people in, you know. But I did like the Tomorrow War. I did like the Terminal List. You know, they got some good. Reacher was really good on Amazon. I just finished that one up. There was another one that's just on the tip of my Tom Clancy's Jack Reacher. That was actually a really good one too. So, you know, I don't know. I think they can do it. It just depends on who's doing it. And this guy, not being too familiar with Fallout and and kind of just being laissez-faire about it with his Nuka-Cola in the interview, that was a little nervous. Got me a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. But we'll just have to wait and find out. We also got news that Silent Hill F, which is actually the biggest, it was the most noticeable out of the Konami Silent Hill reveals, just because it's based in the 60s. It's just very eerie. I don't know. I said in a video this week that, you know, just you don't usually see Silent Hill going back in time to like the 60s, kind of being like a period piece, you know. And then the graphics look phenomenal, and we actually now know why, because it's being developed with Unreal Engine 5. That is incredible. That means the game is just going to be fucking amazing. I feel like that's everything I've seen from Unreal Engine 5, no matter what it is, it just looks phenomenal. And I definitely cannot wait until almost every game is using Unreal Engine 5, and it just looks spectacular. You know, with the dark side and the Silent Hill, there's so much you can do with that. It is going to be, if you ever look at those videos where they break it down to the individual pixels and how many pixels is on screen at once and the shadows, it's fucking crazy where gaming is going, you guys. So I mean, in a horror game setting, you could do so much with that and make, you know, a very ominous tone and just creepy setting. So many opportunities. I cannot wait. That was huge news. I think I did make a video. I know I made a short, but I'm not sure if I made a whole video around that. But that had me hyped up when I seen it. And then lastly, on the weekly highlights, we got Phil Spencer stating in an interview that prices may have to go up on quote unquote certain things, which I don't know why he said certain things. There's only a couple things you can raise the price up. You know, I'm like I'm sure he's alluding to Game Pass. You know, I can't see Phil raising the prices of the consoles or the games, you know, and still maintaining competition with Sony. You know, if anything, it would be the Series S, bump that up like $50 possibly. But, you know, games, I was seeing that, you know, are they going to push it up to 70? I was pretty sure that the Xbox Series X and S games are $70. So I don't know what the fuck they mean by that. I don't know if they mean the Xbox One / Xbox Series XS games. Are those going to go up to $70 as well? Which, I mean, in theory, you would think maybe that they could do that and get away with that, but I don't know. I think they want to. They're seeing an up and up in the Xbox brand this past year, so I don't think they really want to do too much to fracture that growth. You know, I don't think they're gonna beat Sony this year in the holiday season with God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Zero Dawn, and The Last of Us, or not Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, and then The Last of Us Part 1. I think that trio right there is just gonna fuck the whole market up. I really do think so. I think it's gonna really prove Sony's strength right now, and they really don't have nothing lined up for next year other than Spider-Man 2. So I don't know what. I hope we get some more announcements, because I want to know what Sony's plan is for 2023. I'm sure they got something other than VR. I hope for. So, you know, I don't know. We're just gonna have to sit and wait, see what happens. I'm sure he's gonna increase Game Pass, but then that also came into conversation on a video I made. I was thinking, even if it's, you know, $17, $18 a month versus what it is now at $15, would that turn a lot of people off? I think it could possibly turn some people off, but I'm not sure. You know, if it got to 20, 25, most definitely some people are going to drop Game Pass. Like myself, I thought about it. I'm like, okay, $25, and I've gotten a total of what, 10 games this year so far, and it's been spaced out pretty pretty lengthy. I'll admit. I think there was a couple in February or March, and then there was a couple in August. You know, it's very spacey. You know, not every title was worth the $15 a month, but you know, overall Game Pass has a lot on it. But is it worth it? It's gonna be a decision for a lot of people, because I feel like Game Pass is worth it, but it's not at the same time. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and find out what Phil is talking about. As for news and film, Black Adam came out to great reviews from the audiences, but failed with the critics, go figure. We've seen a lot of coverage on its box office, and I even made a video on the topic, with it sitting at ranked 23 at the box office so far this year. With it steadily dropping, I think it's losing about 1 million in ticket sales a day. I think it's this weekend is what will determine if the movie really breaks through with the audiences, which I think it will. With Halloween Ends being a massive bomb, hopefully it's all for the better when it comes to Black Adam. Just soak up all those ticket sales, So I don't know. I think Black Adam is going to be interesting to see where it goes, because I think it's going to at least break the top 20. That's what by the end of all this, I think it will at least break the top 20, maybe get into the 18th spot, something. But it doesn't seem like it's. But I'm gonna wait. I just said I don't criticize. I'm gonna do that with the box office. So if Black Panther fails, if Black Panther kind of comes out and people are a little meh about it, which I've seen a ton of people say how amazing it is, and I'm not gonna trust that. Every movie that's come out this year from Marvel has been meh. It's been disappointing. So I'm not gonna just, oh yeah, Black Panther is gonna be the one. That's the one that they fix all the shit that they've been doing. No, I don't think so. I think Namor is underwhelming. Who they casted him as, I think that's underwhelming as hell. They should have got the dude from Dracula Untold. He has the face for it. He has the bone structure of Namor. Couldn't have got him. He would have been fucking amazing. But they went with this whole Latino Aztec type of thing, which I guess fits Atlantis a little bit, but depending on where you put Atlantis, I guess, because it's supposed to be like off the coast of Africa, I thought. So I don't really understand that too much, but hopefully they'll explain that in the movie. But yeah, Black Panther, if it's a little, if it's like an 80 or 80% on audiences, I think it's gonna help Black Adam at least, because Black Adam right now is like 92% score for the audiences, so it's doing pretty well with anybody that goes and sees it. So hopefully the word of mouth keeps the movie alive, at least until mid-November, which is honestly probably not going to completely drop off until probably the end of November. So that's a ton of time to get up in the box office. We're just gonna have to wait. The actor, the original Jigsaw, is actually returning for Saw 10 or Saw X, whatever you want to say. Honestly, with Spiral being a super big letdown with me, with Chris Rock, that was just laughable. It didn't make any sense. It was like they tried to put humor in it, or they tried to make Chris Rock serious, and it's just, I don't take him serious. I don't know why. It just, he shouldn't have been in that role in the first place. But the whole movie just gave me B-movie vibes, It just didn't attract me. And I think after a month or two being in the theaters, it was marked down at a Walmart that I seen, so it kind of just rang in my head that's not going to be that good of a movie. But then you never know. 'Cause sometimes movies bomb because critics bomb it, review bomb it, and then the movie is actually decent and you get it for a lower price. So there's sometimes where that scenario kind of plays out. But I've just gotten tired of the series. I'm still hopeful that Saw 10 isn't a mess and it really delivers, but just fucking Saw 10, man, just reboot it at this point. You need to reboot it at some point and get someone else, maybe get a new and up and rising creepy actor. Like, damn. It's been like 20 years at this. It's been over 20 years. Let's just reboot fucking Saw. Can we do that? And we also got Miss Marvel, the director of Miss Marvel, and the Watchmen producer are making, guess what? A fucking Star Wars movie. What could go wrong, Disney? What could go wrong? It's not like, if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score of the Watchmen TV show and Miss Marvel, they're not that good. Nobody really likes those shows, So I don't know what they're gonna do with a Star Wars movie, but that's gonna be a big bomb. I can already see it now. I can see it now. Unless they really deliver, unless they pull a 180 out of their ass, I don't think. Star Wars is already kind of in the dumps as it is, because that horrible trilogy and some of those spin-off movies that just didn't resonate well with everybody. I liked a couple of them. Like I liked the, man, what was it called? That's so sad. Damn, I really can't remember. That is so sad. That is really sad. You know, we're talking Star Wars. I can't even remember the goddamn movie. But it was the prequel one that kind of like finished off where A New Hope began. I can't remember what it's called. I really can't. I'm trying to remember. It's not going because it wasn't like Star Wars has impacted me that much in the past decade. Barely at all, really. I didn't like that trilogy. I really didn't. It took a minute to get through it. The one time I watched it in theaters, I can't remember which one it was. The last one. That's so sad. That is really depressing because I grew up with Star Wars. You know, I grew up around Star Wars. There was some amazing characters. The writing was great for the time, and now it's just like it's a joke. It's not even real. Star Wars is just an idea of, you know, what we used to be able to, you know, what we were capable of doing back in the day, and how we could get everybody in the theater, and, you know, lines out the fucking wazoo. And now it's like, we don't give a fuck. We don't care. We do not care what you're doing with the Star Wars property, because you don't know what you're doing with the Star Wars property, you know. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania's trailer also dropped this week. I'm hyped, but also nervous. You know, like I said before, Marvel is, you know, having a really tough track record through Phase 4. Honestly, Phase 4 was just horrible overall, but this year, just every movie was disappointing. You know, so I'm a little nervous. Marvel is going to ruin, yet again, another great setup. You know, you got Paul Rudd, you have Kang the Conqueror going to the quantum universe, or the quantum realm. You know, it's a great setup that you can't fuck up. You just can't. And if they do it, I'm gonna be so upset if they just focus too much on his daughter. If she has like a solid 20 minutes of dialogue, I'm gonna lose my shit, because this movie is supposed to be setting up the big bad. You know, Kang the Conqueror and all of this that happens, and the time, it needs to be good. Don't fuck this up, Marvel. Disney, don't fuck it up. Paul Rudd, get your ass in there, bro. Shove a fucking golden rod up someone's ass, you know, get someone talking. Get someone like, because if you look at all these Hollywood actors kind of coming out saying they're taking it too far, or Disney's doing this, or Disney don't know what they're doing, or this movie franchise sucks, and it's like, can we all just agree real quick that what we're doing is not working? Or, you know, just admit it. God damn. You know? Because we also got this is actually, I don't know how I feel about this, because so James Gunn is officially the Kevin Feige of DC. He's going to be a co-founder of a studio with I forget, another producer that's big at DC. This is great news, don't get me wrong, and I can't wait to see what Gunn can do for the DCU. Obviously not all of his projects will have the James Gunn tone, but I imagine his influence is better than whoever has been in charge on the creative side in the past couple years. But you never know. He might have had his best days at Marvel and jump ship to DC because of it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. None of us know anything until the movies that, you know, he's in control of or influencing comes out, and obviously doesn't, you know, respond too well to the audience. If it does, then right on. But I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait to see what comes out. I don't know what DC really has on the timeline. I know they don't have too much coming out next year. You have Shazam, and I think the Flash movie, maybe an Aquaman movie, I think that's supposed to come out next year as well. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I just hope that I'm a huge comic book fan, you know, and everybody always hates on comic book superheroes, like Hollywood's just become superheroes and shit. And it's because superheroes are dope. I mean, that's just, they're dope. They're cool. They're relatable. Superheroes are the shit. But when you do it shitty, then it's just like, it brings back like back in the day when you were a comic book fan and someone called you a nerd. It brings back those vibes. Like, they're like, oh, you're just a nerd. Like, you don't understand. Like, you don't understand. We had good versions of all these characters not that long ago. Okay, now Now it's getting stupid, okay? Because you guys saw how, profitable superheroes could be. So we're just going to put our little twist on fucking everything, blah, blah, blah. And then when it doesn't respond that well, it goes back to, oh, that nerdy superhero shit. It's like, no, it's cool. And we all know it's cool. If you watched Avengers or Infinity War or Endgame, it's fucking dope. It just has to be done right. So I don't know. We'll just fucking wait. We're gonna wait and see. Another James Cameron. This was hilarious. He says Avatar makes more sense than Marvel/DC movies. Go figure. And I love Avatar. Let me just start out by saying I love Avatar. It's a great movie. A little long, but for the time, that fucking CGI was phenomenal. The story really wasn't. It was okay. Pretty basic storyline. But when you look at the movie overall, it's just filled with 80s tropes of action sci-fi movies. It's filled with a lot of ambiance. That's what I think. That's what James Cameron's off in the corner saying. He's just, it has a lot of depth, and it has a lot of unity, and it's like, no, bro, your shit is what is Avatar overall? Avatar is humans going to another planet to get resources and having to, there's a war and they're fighting over resources. That's pretty much it. This is basically just a side story in the Alien universe, really. I mean, there's nothing too crazy. You basically just copy and pasted, the kind of like the Revolutionary War era, with what we did to the Indians and all that. That's always what I've kind of resonated it as. But you can also put that into any context. You could put that into the Middle East, how we treated the Middle Eastern nations, and pretty much anywhere that's ever had a war where one person was more powerful than the other. It's very basic. There's nothing, too in-depth to get your mind around when it comes to Avatar. Now the sequel, which I think he is alluding to, that the sequel is, we went even deeper with this one. They have kids now and they're growing children. It's like, okay, it's like, okay, we'll see. We'll definitely. I can't wait to see it. I'm probably gonna see it with one of my friends. He's really hyped for it, so that should be great. And the last little bit of film news we got was rumors, which this one just doesn't make sense to me. So there's rumors that Wolverine's role in Deadpool 3 might even be bigger than we expect, which I don't understand what the fuck people are expecting. I mean, the reveal of Deadpool 3 has Hugh Jackman next to Ryan Reynolds, and you think he's just going to be a side character? I think people assume that he wasn't going to be a main character, like he was just going to have like a 20-30 minute cameo with Deadpool doing something, and honestly, if that was the case, I would have been happy. That would have been cool. I would not have been enraged and pissed off. But obviously, this seems to be going down the buddy cop path that, Wolverine and Deadpool are working together probably throughout most of the movie. I'm wondering if Cable is just being replaced with if he's just being replaced with Wolverine. Yeah, a little tongue-tied there. Or if we're getting all three. If we're gonna get all three, Cable, Deadpool, and Wolverine, that would be pretty awesome. I think Cable would have to kind of be there to explain the multiverse, but who knows? We're a ways off. We don't know what's happening, but it would be nice, especially that dynamic of Josh Brolin, Ryan Reynolds, and Hugh Jackman. That would be really crazy to see on screen. And honestly, I don't care about all the rest of the characters that's kind of been introduced in Deadpool. I mean, they're okay, but if I could get all three of these guys for an entire 2.5 hour movie, I'm sold. Fucking give it to me. That'd be amazing. As for breaking news that came out today, we really don't have too much, but there is a couple stories that I can go a little in depth in. The first being Deadpool. Coincidentally, Deadpool is coming to Midnight Suns with the season pass. With it also includes Venom and Morbius, Storm. So that's cool. I mean, the season pass, depending on what it offers in the end, is it going to be worth it? I don't know, but I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of Storm or Morbius, but Venom and Deadpool, that sounds pretty exciting. Uh, we're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm kind of still unsure about Midnight Suns just because of the gameplay style. The turn-based action combat is a little, because I'm used to Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, the way that they kind of went through that. It was just an action game, kind of like a beat 'em up Streets of Rage, versus kind of like this XCOM gameplay. Like, if you're gonna have the Marvel properties, I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll look really cool and it will look less buggy, because obviously you don't want to just make a hack and slash all the time with every Marvel title. So this is interesting. It's very interesting. And the last, we have 2 other news stories that broke today I wanted to talk about. The first one, Xbox's Phil Spencer he had an interview, and he's talking about releasing Call of Duty on the Switch in the future, which I made a short and I kind of got some mixed reviews or mixed comments on it. I don't know. I think if they're really going to do this, if they're going to bring Call of Duty to the Switch, it's probably either going to be its own standalone Switch title, or it's going to be kind of closed off. It's not going to be cross-compatible, because the Switch, like we seen it on the Alan Wake comparison video, it just doesn't look that good. The power in the Switch, I don't know if it could maintain a modern Call of Duty. It's going to have to be scaled down, and that's kind of just disappointing. But if you can get all the Switch players together and just they hash it out and play together, I don't think it would be a problem. Especially with the Pro controllers and just all the variety of controllers that the Switch has now. It's just, is this game going to be 30 frames per second, at all? Or is it going to struggle to get to 30, and it's just going to be kind of like an old school Call of Duty? I don't know. Because if you ever compared the original Wii games, those Call of Duty games, they were a little lacking on the graphical side, and I think it would probably be the same scenario here, but we're just gonna have to wait. I mean, with the install base for the Switch, I mean, they have to come up with something, because that's millions of sales just going out the window, and maybe they could. It's just sad if you can have Call of Duty Mobile on a cell phone like a Samsung or Apple, but the Switch can't support a Call of Duty. I mean, I'm sure they can figure something out, I hope, but I don't think I'd ever buy a Switch Call of Duty. I might, just for shits and giggles, if they did it, but who knows? Wouldn't that be something if they made a Switch Call of Duty, like a Call of Duty, even a new series, Call of Duty something, and it always comes out on the Switch, and then you get Game Pass, you can play every Call of Duty, every new Call of Duty and DLC, it all comes to Game Pass, and then Sony doesn't get it at all. That would be pretty shitty, wouldn't it? Or if they had to pay $70 and bunch of shit to just make it difficult for the Sony fan base. I really do think they're gonna block off the PlayStation fan base at some point, or just make it like Xbox is the place to play Call of Duty, because why wouldn't you want that? It's just free marketing once you own Call of Duty, if that ever goes through. So, and the last little breaking news, that this one I actually wanted to talk a little bit more about, was the Callisto Protocol getting banned in Japan due to censorship. This sucks. This is a major it's just disappointing. I'm disappointed in Japan, and I'm just kind of disappointed in the development team, because I'm sure Japan was noting what rules and regulations that they're stemming from making this ban. But I think it couldn't have been nudity. I mean, maybe there's a nude scene with I know there's a female character that you're kind of buddy with throughout the game, so maybe there's something there. I have no clue, but if it just comes down to gore, that just sucks. How much crazy shit comes out of Japan? I don't understand what was so bad, and now a bunch of Japanese gamers cannot experience the Callisto Protocol, one of the biggest games this year. Honestly, it's probably one of the biggest games, and they're not going to get to play it because of death scenes or something. That's just kind of batshit. But you know, every country has their regulations and their rules, you know. I didn't think Japan would be the type to do this, but I know they're also really crazy about their porn, which, I mean, I don't know. That's just strange to me in general. Every time it's brought up, I think they blur out the woman's face, or they blur out nudity in general, I think, during the porn, like Japanese porn. So I don't know what the hell their censorship is like. It seems really off and confusing. I mean, if you compare them to like Australia, where they're kind of more strict in Australia, but you know, it's expected from them. I just don't expect it from Japan. So that kind of rocked my world when I seen that. I felt really bad for the Japanese gamers, because it's just, I don't know if you can get a copy mailed in or what, but that just sucks. That really sucks. But yeah, I mean, as for plans, what I've been up to, I mean, I'm about to go to the midnight launch for Modern Warfare 2. I told you guys that. I got about 2 hours, or just under that, about an hour. And yeah, I've just been chilling. I've been watching a lot of Homeland. Never got a chance to see it when it was on TV. It's getting removed off of Showtime soon, so I've been catching up on that. I've been catching up on that. I think I'm on like season 2, almost in season 3. But yeah, I also had a good time watching Swordfish. I made a little short about that earlier in the week. It's a great throwback to the early 2000s, you know, action movie, heist genre. That was really cool to watch a young Hugh Jackman, and you know, obviously John Travolta's awesome in that movie as well. There's a couple other characters. I think Halle Berry was in it, which just threw me off. I forgot she was in it. With her titties too. Her titties popped out. It's crazy. But pretty good throwback. Also today when I went to go pick up my little slip for the line, I picked up Ghostwire Tokyo, which, you know, I'm still playing Stray on and off, which I gotta crush soon, but I'm just adding this to the fucking list. I gotta crush fucking Stray, and then I gotta crush Ghostwire Tokyo, all while playing Modern Warfare 2, so I can tell you guys what I think of both, which I think I did talk a bit on Stray, but I only played a couple hours, you know, and I need to finish it up, get it done. As for the shows, I put out Next Gen Charts episode yesterday, so there's not too many changes in the market, but I can't wait for God of War to rock it all. Rock the market, my friend. Do it, Kratos. Do it for me. You know, I really want to see how this plays out, if it boosts sales, because I was in GameStop earlier and it's looking pretty even when it comes to consoles. You know, I think I saw a Horizon Forbidden West PlayStation 5 bundle. I saw 2 other, like, or they might have all been Forbidden West bundles. I actually can't remember, but it was at least 2 or 3. And then I saw about, I think, 2 Xbox Series X's and a couple Series S's. So it's about even. I'd love to see how that turns out, if God of War boosts the sales and it just goes crazy in America. I'm sure it's going to go nuts in Europe, for people waiting on God of War Ragnarok to pick it up. So it's going to be interesting to see how that folds out. And yeah, I mean, I got my reaction to Ant-Man and the Wasp. That was, again, that was a really good trailer. I'm just nervous. And then the movie Plane with Gerard Butler also looks interesting. It's like a disaster flick. You know, airplane crashes in the Philippines and you got to find your way out amongst these this terrorist group, you know. So that looks good. I like Gerard Butler, and I think it's the same producer behind Greenland, which was a really cool disaster movie. And what was the other one? I think like Olympus Has Fallen. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and find out on a couple of those movies. There's a shitload of movie trailers. I think there's a couple other ones that came out I wanted to make a video on. I just didn't. But yeah. Anyway, guys, that's today's show. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join the Wolf Pack. Catch you guys later. Peace.